looking at advice in communities and stuff like that, there's a lot of people asking questions about this, like I've been asking questions, and because a lot of people are looking for advice, because what I've basically described is the fact that you feel toxic and you feel conflicted because you seem to have a side effect of this sort of strange obsession that you can't shake off, even though you want them as a friend. But the thing is that you're also insulted by the fact they broke up with you as such, even though they obviously didn't. So there is a very deep emotional connection with you end up forming with them, and it's like you're dating already to one half, and the other half doesn't get it unless they agree with it. So so here we go. The disadvantages of everything. Um, some examples. Went to university. Female friends lived with men that just met at a party or bar. This girl couldn't do it. This girl couldn't do it. Didn't think it was right and comprehend how they enjoyed it. I would feel absolutely terrible if I ended up doing that. I just want to be with with somebody nice and understanding all the time, and somebody that I can share amazing points of view with. And it seems very, there we go, odd to me. Or assumed that they had been doing it with low self-esteem, but apparently they just ended up doing it because they found it physically pleasurable and didn't feel bad about it afterwards. So they end up, yeah, you know, she got in a situation where she ends up talking about how hot a certain celebrity is, and she's got no idea if they're hot or not. It's like we don't know that person and everything like that. So you know, uh, not really attracted to celebrities or pictures as such. I mean, there are a couple of exceptions, but if we end up flipping back to that, we can end up going to the previous pages before that. You can end up making fantasies and emotional connections through fantasies of of celebrities. So that does cover that. So bad sex due to peer pressure. This does not apply to me. We've already gone through this. I'm being very honest here. This does not apply to me because basically this seems to be part of the situation of why I am still like I am. So devastating breakups and letdowns. Now this is a concern, right? Because demisexuals might have a strong emotional, mental connection with somebody, rather than just physical attraction. Relationships can be lopsided, where you're emotionally connected and bonded to somebody you simply adore, and the object of adoration might have insinuated a sexual encounter because they were physically attracted to you first and emotionally attracted secondarily. To a demisexual, a sexual encounter is, well, I can't even say that word, a sarcastic, unique, intimate, and very, very special. Now, I haven't found this yet, and I've got a pretty damn good feeling that it would do once I find the right person. It, it will be a massive connection. If your partner doesn't feel the same way, you can end up with a serious case of the heart breaks and you don't recover quick as those others. So the thing is that you do end up getting addicted to the idea of being with somebody. It's not exactly obsession or something like that. It's the fact you're in love with them. Think of it this way: it's kind of like sexual dyslexia. Dyslexia, you can end up getting words mixed up and everything. But what would happen if you ended up getting, instead of your sexual impulses going first, and then everything else, and and getting to know each other happening afterwards? What would happen if it happened the other way around? Society doesn't work like that. Society likes to think it works like that, but unfortunately, society doesn't work like that. It is always people flirting backwards and forwards, sexual attraction. You can see there's something there. Shall we go for a drink and get to know each other? As being strangers, but in my case, it's got to be the opposite way around. I've got to know them before, and then I can kind of engage in the idea or the concept of being with them. It won't be so alien and frightening anymore. So now that we've explained all of that on the website, I mean, there probably are other websites. To tell you what, there is one more website, and we'll see about bringing it on, and it's the dedicated wiki, which is actually done by the organisation which is behind the identification of demisexuals. Of research guides that you can end up seeing basic sorts of free articles on that you can end up reading in archives and so forth, which is to do with it. And even this is listed here. It's there. Does not experience sexual attraction unless the individual feels a strong emotional connection with another individual. Individuals identify as being demisexual usually are not sexually attracted to anybody of a particular gender. Rather, when an individual forms a strong connection, deep friendship, or romantic love, the individual would then experience sexual desire and attraction towards the individuals the bond is formed with. But it seems like obviously it's a confidence issue. It would be pretty difficult for the demisexual to end up moving first other than the participant the other way. So whoever isn't the demisexual would have to be the one that would try and initiate the attraction and see if there's a kind of pull away or a sort of get nearer and don't mind kind of thing. So what I'm basically saying, in some cases this can be a complete lottery of what you're actually attracted to, because you don't know, because most of the time you're asexual. You see the world pass you by and everything like that, and you're not really interested in anything around it, and it doesn't really matter about the symbolism and women and everything like that. They're just good shapes, you know. They just look like comforting shapes, to be honest. There's also been this is a Asexual Visibility Education Network, which ends up obviously looking into asexuals, and the thing is, that's absolutely crazy as it sounds, and I described asexual as somebody that is not interested in anything. They also end up looking at the areas such as demisexuality. I'm not sure if there's anything really listed here, but this is just proving that it's a real organisation regarding it. So we're going to end up flipping back a bit, because I'm pretty sure on the previous page I had their wiki before I ended up leaving. Yes, we've got their official wiki, which is edited. Now we're going to ignore that. We're going to go back a little bit, because I had this page earlier. Demisexual, they got their own page for it too. So we've got it here. Demisexual is a person who does not experience sexual attraction unless they form an emotional connection. It's more commonly seen, but in no means confined to romantic relationships. The term demisexual comes from the orientation halfway between sexual and asexual. Nevertheless, this term does not mean that demisexuals have an incomplete or half sexuality, nor does it mean that sexual attraction without emotional connection is required for a complete sexuality. When describing demisexuality as orientation to sexuals often mistake it as an admirable choice rather than an innate orientation. Now, this is the reason why I've made the video, because I have to admit, some people might have seen that I've been off work and seen a lot of concerning statuses in this time. I decided to try and go to a mental practitioner to kind of explain this, and the most frustrating thing that ended up happening was getting it from back in my face and saying I'm young, I've got plenty of time, there's loads of girls or guys around, there's bound to be one that you're attracted to. But as I previously described here, unless the friendship part is done first, the other part doesn't end up happening. So you end up getting a case that you've got a doctor that ends up talking to you, and I'll just flip back to my webcam